maybe I could bring out Jessie and Nadine on this. It seems to me that one of the real differences between thinking, you know, not just on the web, but of the web versus traditional media is the idea of making your content spreadable and allowing people to, you know, not only access your content, but link to your content and tell other people about your content. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, the online component is really important for creating the buzz. And I mean, my experience, I still work in traditional content, and I still see the online content as a platform to showcase something and to drive people to TV, where, as far as I can tell right now, is where the funding, where the money is, you know. So, but it's extremely important, the online component, as a way of creating buzz. Not to always talk about the same thing, but my experience on being Erica is that, you know, we use the online form to, it was part of the marketing tool as a lead up to the pilot, what you just watched, so people already knew the character and liked her and wanted to see more, but ultimately they're going to the TV show.
With my videos and stuff, I find that a lot of people, sharing is very important. You want people to link, you want people to subscribe, you want people to rate it, you want them to comment, you want them to talk about your video. And I find that it's okay to ask for it. A lot of people don't realize, and just seeing how things grow, it's okay to ask for subscribers. It's okay to say, hey, rate my video. Hey, comment. Hey, talk about this. And people will generally respond well to that, to bring up the discussion. So you kind of have to start initiating the buzz around your videos, and I find that it seems to kind of spread, and that works very well. But it's if you just leave it as, okay, I'm just gonna put this video out, and you know, people will find it, people will talk about it. You know, it doesn't work as well as you like.
Yeah, we went through Facebook for the show. We had, you know, Erica has her own page, the other characters have their own pages, and they sort of become these weird fictional real people, and real audiences are talking to them directly. Right. But I still think it's a niche market of people who actually want to talk to their television characters, right? There's a lot of people who just want to watch them. And then there's a smaller niche of the super fans who come on, and they need to be addressed, and there should be content for them. And it certainly is the way to create the initial buzz.
It's interesting too what Nadine said about commenting, forum systems, rating. You know, when you go on, we work in this world in Canada and we throw around the word interactive. But a lot of our videos are linear content. They tell stories. They have a beginning, a middle, and an end. They're very linear. But it's not recognized here in Canada that the interactive portion doesn't lie within the video itself. It lies within getting fans to communicate with the creators immediately. And they get instant gratification by doing so, by rating their videos, getting into conversations on YouTube, getting into dialogue, like real social networking dialogue. And that needs to be, in Canada, addressed as interactive. Although the story is linear, it is very much interactive on the web, no matter where you go to watch your video.
Yeah, I have to say, like with Spark, we sort of see it as being, because it is, as you say, right now at least, it is kind of a niche of people who want that level of interactivity. So it almost becomes a matter of like, well, how do you provide a satisfying aesthetic experience for somebody who just wants to listen to the radio show or listen to the podcast, but then also appeal to a different market at the same time that wants to engage more directly, that wants to have a conversation with producers and the host of the show.
It's
now,
difficult.
Now, Jessie, you raised the money question. Can we just talk about that a little bit, about, you know, people who are creating stuff for online? What is the, you know, can you follow the trail of the money for me a little bit?
The money situation in terms of web, it's funny because I sat up here a year ago, and you know, there was no opportunities available for online broadcasting, like very, very little. We had the Canadian New Media Fund, which wasn't funding linear content. It was funding interactive content, and it worked as a program to you know, it worked for their purposes. But I was thrilled at the progress we made this year with the announcement of the CMF. Valerie Creighton and Stéphane Cardin have been, you know, really like really actively listening to people about concerns, with convergent media and digital media. So we're going to hear about that later today, I assume. But we also had a really great opportunity present itself for people that are working directly in web video. Andrew Sheffer, who's the executive director of the Bell Fund, she went to the IPF and got a pilot program approved for web-based series, dramatic series, which was huge for our community, like really huge for linear content in our community. So now we're starting to see a little bit of leeway in terms of where we can get our money from. Right. There are funds available to us, but a lot of it still comes from ad revenue. It still comes from private investors. It comes from venture capitalists. It comes from equity. It comes from our own credit cards sometimes. So, it's interesting.
You guys are both hosted on YouTube, so maybe you could talk a little bit about that relationship.
Sure. There was one experience I had, and you guys actually saw a portion of the video, the 4-part Star Wars a cappella video that played in the introduction. Being really real here. That was a video that I shot in my kitchen with a webcam, with no lighting, and using an onboard microphone. So the budget was literally an $80 camera and my time. Now that video posted on YouTube, and YouTube provides ad-based revenue to people who receive a lot of traffic through the website, like Nadine and myself. That video that you guys saw currently has almost 8 million hits online in the past year. And due to the success of that video, I was contacted by NBC Universal, which is the same company. They operate under the same umbrella. And what they wanted to do was take this internet video and put it on TV and use it as a television commercial to promote their movie networks, their on-demand networks. So here is one of the biggest television and movie production companies in the entire world saying, well, hey, we don't even have to make videos. This kid on the internet made a video, let's just buy it. Because if we made it ourselves, it would cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars. We can throw this kid a couple bucks, and because he's living in his parents' basement, he's gonna take it.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And I did. I did. And I'm gonna be really real with you guys. I'm gonna talk real dollars. They gave me 50 grand to put that video on television. And that was a video that I shot in 4 hours. That's more than my parents make this year.
And how much would that have cost them?
And they're not too happy about it. Now, if NBC were to hire a songwriter, somebody who's part of a guild and somebody who's part of, a record label to write the song and pay performers with royalties and with this and with that and deal with licensing issues in different countries and online and blah, blah, we are looking at a 6-figure budget. But by approaching, in my opinion, good content, I mean, I made it, but they thought it was good enough. They're like, well, 50 grand to them is nothing. They got away with murder, and it was actually a win-win situation, because I was happy, and they're extremely happy because they didn't have to put this video together. On top of this, YouTube was already paying me for the video, and Nadine and I are making videos. She's producing almost a video a week. So that's one of 130 videos I